Hi, welcome to my very first yoga video. My name is Yama, and the style of yoga we're going to be practicing is Iyengar yoga. And Iyengar was very well known for creating and using props, helping tools. And you'll find out more about that as we use them. One thing you're going to need with me is one of these straps and a block or two. Two is best, wooden is best. And a yoga mat, of course, maybe 2 yoga mats because you can use this as padding, which very helps ankles and spines and heads and things. And then there's yoga blankets, which come in handy for, you'll find out. It's too much to explain. So we're going to start our first pose. I'm going to have, I'm going to drop the belt. We're going to bring our feet and legs together and bring the weight into the heels and extend your toes. So bring your focus into just your feet and have in your mind each foot as a rectangle. And there are 4 corners of that rectangle, and find each of those 4 corners and then descend into those 4 corners. So your mind is going to be very focused inward. That's what we do in yoga. You bring your mind inside into your body, into specific areas. So right now it's the 4 corners of each foot. And then across from the big toe to the little toe, there's the ball of your foot. Spread from the inner, first of all, the big toe should be touching. So from the ball of the feet that are both touching, spread all the way across to the little toe side of the foot. So you're spreading your foot as wide as you can at the ball of the foot, and you want to press that down. So right now we're doing about 10 or 11 things, maybe 12 things. And then think of your heels as discs, round discs. Find those. So one of mine feels kind of scrunched. So I'm lifting it up and trying to smooth it out and flatten it out onto the floor. Now I'm going to bring my mind there and try to open and spread and expand those discs as much as I can. Be breathing, be aware that you're breathing. Now stretch your toes forward. So stretch your fingers like this, and now do that with your feet and toes. Stretch your toes forward and apart like the fingers. Sometimes the toes are going to lift off the floor. That's okay. And then take the little toe all the way back to the heel, that outer edge of your foot, and like Velcro, we can say that now, for some 20, 30 years now we can say that. Velcro that edge of your foot into the mat or floor or earth. And then go to the inside of your feet where you find an arch. And be aware as you press the ball of the foot down and the heel down, the arch is going to lift up. So as you can see, this becomes a very internal process. It becomes a process of concentration and focus, which is very helpful to cultivating your mind and cultivating that you are holding the steering wheel to the mind. It's not driving you around, but you have your hands on the wheel and you're directing your mind. That's one of the reasons we feel so good while we do a yoga pose. Keep doing these actions while I talk a bit. Because when we focus on these actions, on these internal places and movements, we can't think about our problems, our worries, our fears, our hates, our angers, our dilemmas, and we get a break, we get relief, and it makes us feel good to not think about those things. That's really one of the big benefits of having a yoga practice and learning to go into your body, inhabit your physical container that you live in. Okay, so keep the actions of your feet going. Actually, I'm going to stop you here and I'm just going to ask you to walk around the room. Relax your feet and legs and walk around the room. Not thinking of anything, just feeling. You've been working. Usually, when you work your feet, your legs get worked because the energy comes up into the legs. So you might feel that as you walk around. So do that for a few moments. I'll do it again. Feel, experience the floor on your foot. Experience your feet and ankles and your legs and anything else, your breath. I'm a little bit out of breath because I'm working and talking at the same time. So come back, bring the big toes and inner heels together, spread your toes, spread the balls of the feet, smooth the heels of the feet, spread them, do all the things we did, the four corners of the feet. And now I want you to keep that action moving down like roots of a tree, reaching down, although toes are spreading and reaching forward. And I want you to bring the action up into your quadriceps, the thigh muscles. And I want you to squeeze your thigh muscles. And see if that energy travels anywhere. For me, it traveled through my pelvic and hip area right here, and it went up into my chest. I could feel it because it's like mercury in a thermometer. We're heating our body up when we squeeze our muscles, and so the energy moves. It's very interesting. That's another part of going inward. It's very interesting. So it's not just that you're making yourself do something. It can be amazing, it can be interesting, it can be wondrous, it can be a discovery. So as you squeeze the thigh muscles, press them back towards your heels, and you might notice that you start to bend forward a bit. So as you press your thighs back, you can feel that they aren't here anymore, they've moved. But your torso hasn't moved. So now I want you to think of this as a hinge, which it is, and I want you to open that hinge by lifting your ribs, pressing back, and bringing your tailbone towards your fingers. If you have them on your hips like this, bring your tailbone towards your fingers as you press your thighs back. And then lift your side ribs and your front and back ribs. And then release your arms. And bring your head in line with your tailbone. And stretch the back of your neck a bit. And breathe. And then just step out of the pose. So that pose is called Tadasana. It's the basic pose that's found in every pose. You're basically doing Tadasana in every pose. And I'm not going to say anything. I want you to experience that as time goes on in these poses we'll be doing in these videos. Okay, we're coming back to Tadasana. So see what you remember of the process. I'll let you do it yourself. And become aware of your breath. Don't do anything to your breath. Just become aware of it. And yet, Mr. Iyengar emphasized that you always, and most yogis, I don't want to say all, because most yogis tell you to only breathe through your nose, not your mouth. So do that. All right, now we're going to inhale and extend our arms up over our head. I don't think you can see my hands. So stretch through your elbows and bring your arms slightly together on the sides of your head, and open your palms the way you opened your feet. Squeeze your thighs, do Tadasana, feet and legs and torso, except you're extending the arms up. Breathe and lift the back ribs, lift the side ribs. And reach as though you're reaching for one of the most important things you could ever reach for. So you want your fingers to be reaching, your palms, your wrists, your elbows, your forearms, your upper arms. And notice your abdomen. Just notice. Squeeze your thighs. Bring your tailbone forward as you press your thighs back and lift. One last time, breathing through your nose. Descend your heels, lift your ribs, and exhale, release. And then just take a step out of the pose, relax your feet, relax your legs. Very good, even though I can't see you. And so, in yoga, you are doing a lot of weightlifting. But what are you lifting? You're lifting your own body weight. Even though we're not pressing on the floor to lift our weight, we are, I think you would attest to how much lifting you are doing. And there's a lot of lengthening. So in yoga, you create a lot of muscle, but you create a lot of lean muscle, long muscle, not bulk muscle, which you would do if you were doing repetitions. Weightlifting repetitions, that would create bulk. So we're creating lean, long strength, muscle. Good. All right, we're going to take that into a seated pose, where you are sitting. I'm going to turn sideways for a minute. You're sitting on your buttock bones. You're going to roll to the side and pull your buttock bone back. Roll to the other side and pull your buttock bone back. I need to get over here a little bit to fit into the camera. If you feel like you're sitting like this, if you can't lift your spine, that's when a blanket or two blankets come in handy, where you put the blanket under your buttock bones, and it helps lift your spine so that you're not being pulled this way by your musculature and your structure. Okay, so I'll just stay here so I don't have to move again. All right, so we're going to do the same thing. We're going to extend we're going to actually work with our feet. I don't know that you can see my feet. We're going to work our feet as though we had a floor under our feet. Now you can see your feet, and that's really a good thing to do. So you want to push the base of the big toe forward, and like a fan, you want to bring your little toes towards you, because for a moment, just relax your feet, and you see how they naturally, the little toes fold in. So you want to do the opposite. You couldn't stand on a floor like this, could you? You couldn't put a straight wall or floor underneath your feet and be flat on the floor. So you have to work your feet to create that. So you have to extend your heels and fan out the balls of your feet and your toes. Push the big toes forward and bring the little toes towards you, because they want to go in that opposite way, where the little toes go away and the big toes come towards you. All right, so then you're going to draw up into your thigh muscles again, your quadriceps. So just take your hands and let them lightly lay on your quadriceps and relax your feet and legs. And now work your feet and work your quadriceps and keep your feet working and just relax your thigh muscles and do that back and forth. And you can see your knees and your quadriceps is kind of a blinking. Okay, so you can feel whether they're engaged, you can see whether they're engaged or not. And then you want to press that thigh down into the floor. Keep extending through your inner heels. And then lift your ribs up, take your hands to your sides, and you can use your hands and arms to help you lift. Now you're going to be lifting without your arms by bringing your arms up and reaching just the way we did standing. Reach, pull, lift, press the thighs down. Extend through the wrist, thumbs, all the fingers and joints, and lift the side ribs as you press the buttock bones, press the thighs, and open the feet. It's a very strenuous pose. It's a lot of lifting. And exhale, release. And when you do this, it's aerobic because your heart has to go. You know, I once told somebody that I do yoga and they say, yeah, but do you do anything aerobic? I'm like, Iyengar yoga is very aerobic. I used to run an hour a day before I started this, and I very quickly found out this was a much more healthy and much more really as strenuous, I would say, as running an hour a day, you know, because you're consolidating all this effort and energy. All right, let's do that again. We'll bring our hands to the side. This pose is known as staff pose, and the Sanskrit name is Dandasana. So Danda is a staff. It's like a pole, and some yogis walk with it. I think, you know, there's even in Christianity, they carry a trident sometimes. So it's a spiritual symbol, but it has a meaning for a straight line. So when you want to get to your destination, the best way is to go direct. And that's the meaning of carrying the staff. It's a reminder to be focused and don't wander, don't get distracted, stay on your path. And if you get off the path, you've realized that you get back on the path. So this is Dand. The legs are the staff. Dandasana. Staff pose. So hands at your hips, fingers pointing forward. And work your feet again as you did in Tadasana, but paying particular attention to your heels, your inner heels especially, and press the hands down and lift the chest. Any amount. My teachers used to always say, do this any amount. Lift the chest any amount. Okay, and keep that going. Press into those legs to support the foundation of the pose as you breathe and lift. Breathe through the nose. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. And really reach. And really press your sitting bones and thighs down and open and stretch those feet. When you do those actions, that is like putting your foot on the accelerator. It gives you gas. It gives you fuel. It doesn't the very first time you do these things. You know, it's like anything. In the beginning, it's a very different story. But the more your body acclimates and catches on and becomes skillful, the more the energy starts to do what it's being asked to do through these motions and actions. So we're going to do one more thing with the belt this time. We're going to stand up again, and you may not have a belt because this may be it is the first class actually. So anyway, I'm still going to do it. You could use a tie or a rope. So we're going to stand with our feet hip width apart, and we're going to extend up, and we're going to open the belt and allow it to go back behind us. I can do that sideways. And lift. Okay, it really helps you to open your chest, and it also supports your arms to do that Urdhvahastasana, the first pose we did. If you pull on the belt, it gives a strength to the pose. It gives a lightness to the pose. So that's something to try on your own if you're not having a belt right now. And then open it up and go back behind you, because you want to cultivate an openness in your chest, and this belt really helps. Don't overdo it. Don't do it if it's painful. Find a comfortable open place, and if you tighten the belt up, you're not going to be able to go up as high, but it's still a wonderful thing for the shoulders and the trapezius, which is the area between your neck and shoulders, and the upper back. Okay, so you can play around with that. It really is playful. It's not an Iyengar pose. It's something we do sometimes, but I've kind of taken it off on my own, in my own direction, and I love it, so I want to share it with you all, but I'm not going to go too far with it today because you all don't have belts, probably, or you might, but you might not. I'm planning on doing a video a day for a while, so see if you can gather these yoga props if you enjoy this type of yoga and you want to work alongside me in these videos. I think that's all I'm going to do for today, so thank you for showing up and sticking with the video, and I hope that you enjoy it and your body enjoys it, and sometimes it's just a matter of developing a taste for it, you know, and it's hard work, definitely is hard work, but that also makes us smile and gives us energy, and our body likes it. So until next time, thank you for joining.